Welcome to the Extraordinary Culture Podcast. Podcast for the culture that is music, movies, sports, food, and beer. The Extraordinary. So, what the fuck happened over by your house, dude?
So, somebody was storing fireworks, and we're not just talking about the little tiny, like a bunch of firecrackers.
That's some Mexico shit.
Dude, I mean, there is, like, I want to say there was probably like 2 sea containers full of fireworks with all that shit going off.
Was it really near your house?
Dude, it's like not even a half mile. It's like down the street.
Blocks. Okay, so you know where the Wiener Schnitzel is that you turn by?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's right by, like, about 2 blocks west of that. So you know that fire station, the Mormon church?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like 3 houses down from that.
Oh.
How ironic,
dang.
dude, next to a fire station. How ironic is that shit?
I mean, 2 blocks from, like a block away from a fire station.
So I had heard about and we'll talk about it in a sec, but I had heard, something happened, but I didn't pay much attention to it. And then, they said, Ontario, whatever. And then somebody had hit me up later and said, hey, did you see that thing? It was a former student of mine. Did you see that thing that happened in Ontario? I'm like, I saw something about it, but I haven't really read the article. I've been busy all day. And then they were like, my dad works near there. He works at this place. And I was like, wait a minute. I know that place. It's some market there on Mountain. And then I was like, what the hell? So I was like, I know. For whatever reason, I remember the name. And then I was like, what the hell? So I looked it up where it happened. And I was like, oh, shit. So then I put it in, like, Waze, and I was like, oh, my God, that's, like, a couple blocks from his house. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Then I asked,
so
go ahead.
When it happened, I was at lunch, and I text my dad immediately. And I said, hey, or I text my brother, because my dad don't text. He's like Machete. He's got the mustache.
Yeah.
So anyway, I text my brother, and I go, hey, are you guys okay? He goes, yeah, everything's fine. Because, I just heard there was an explosion. We live near enough by the airport where if something happens, like it could affect, like, a boom or something like that. Mm-hmm. So my friend, and I used to help run it too, but we used to run a news group page for the city of Ontario. And like, so my friend has like, all these people on the street giving him like hints and stuff. He's all. So anyway, on that that Facebook page, we find out that there was an explosion and there was possible fireworks and all this stuff's going on. So after I heard about it, my wife was her day off, so I sent her a message. I go, hey, this is what happened. This is like really close to my dad's house. Everything's okay. They're okay. Everything's fine so far. Mm-hmm. So she's watching it, and her sister's watching it too. And they come and ask, like, does all this family have to come stay with us? Because we don't have the room here.
So what, like, I know we're messing with it, but 2 people died.
Yeah, 2 people died for sure. And they're the ones who were doing whatever with they're storing. There was a home where they're storing the fireworks. So we know that 2 people died for sure. And that's caused a lot of controversy too, because there is different Facebook or GoFundMe pages for like different people involved. Like, people who like live like right next door, who were affected, like, innocent people, and then the people who died, and people were giving a lot of money to them. And then they found out like, hey, these are the people who, probably caused that explosion, and they're like, well, fuck them, we're not going to give them money. Now, I really don't know what happened. Like, yeah, they could have just been innocent bystanders and somebody else was using that storage room.
Right.
I doubt it, but I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. There's always 2 sides to the story. We don't know what's entirely going on. So that could have happened. But yeah, there's all this stuff going on. I'm not giving, but there's a big relief effort. There's like the city's banding together. Like, if you're affected by what they call the Francis incident, let us know. The Mexican consulate in San Bernardino reached out to people who live in the area. If you're like a Mexican national and you're affected by this, let us know and we could help you out.
Yeah, because that area is kind of like that. That particular
it's across
area.
from the Cárdenas. It's
across
from the Cárdenas.
Yeah, and it's only a few blocks from your house, but it's a very different area than where you actually live. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like us driving into like Home Gardens all of a sudden. It's a different type area. It's not like that. Yeah, I heard the same thing too. I heard that the 2 people that died were ones that were in it, and there was a little to do about where you were given money because it was like, well, they're probably the ones that caused it, so you should give to these people instead who had everything ruined, because that shit just blew up. They lost everything. All they had was whatever they had on. That's all they had. So that, I mean, we joked about it a little bit, but it's pretty sad. And I haven't heard anything since. Has anybody heard anything since?
Not really. Did they ever determine if it was? Did they ever determine if it was like a storage place or they were selling from it or anything like that? I guess.
Okay, so they haven't determined that, but the word on the street, like this is like, people from that Facebook page and like other resources that I could pull together. From what I understand is every time like you hear fireworks going off in the neighborhood, like when the Dodgers win, the Lakers win, when it's 4th of July, it comes from that direction. People have been saying we've been calling the police and the fire department on these people because there's so much firework activity going on. And now it could be like they're just lighting them off. Now, they're also saying they were getting like shipments of large amounts of like, stuff. So
like shipping container size stuff?
Not shipping container size, but maybe palletfuls.
These fools were, they were selling it. It's the ones from Mexico, dude. That's what they're doing. Every 4th of July when you see shit going off, it's that kind of stuff. It was in, well, not that those are legal, but fireworks are legal in San Bernardino County. So,
but not in the city of Ontario, right?
No. So, it's kind of weird because Chino, Fontana are allowed to have the safe and sane fireworks. Right. When you cross into the borders of Chino and Ontario, there's always a sign that says fireworks are illegal in Ontario. All fireworks are illegal in Ontario. Now, from what I understand, talking to some people who are in law enforcement, most of the time they're all like, "We're not gonna arrest you. Give us the fireworks, and you're free to go." That's what most of the time police do. Now, somebody told me, and I don't know how reliable this source is, that what they'll do is they'll use the fireworks themselves. They'll light them themselves.
That doesn't surprise me. Man, I had some tobacco one time that I know a cop smoked. Remember we used to roll that stuff? Remember we used to roll drum?
Yeah.
I got caught with that at the park underage, and that cop took it. I know he smoked it because he kept asking us, "What's this?" and blah, blah, blah. "Oh, really? You roll this and you smoke?" I was like, "This motherfucker's going to smoke that." First of all, he took my tobacco, but he's going to smoke it. Mind you, I was like 17, so, and I wasn't old enough to have it anyway.
Yeah, he took your lighter, so.
Damn.
Yeah, well, I told the fools I was with, because we were smoking it, and it was just cigarettes. I told the fools we were with, I was like, "Hey, man, don't act stupid, man. Don't, like, if you throw that on the ground and step on it, he's going to come over here." What does one of them do? Throws it on the ground. I was like, "Oh, shit, here we go." Sat on the curb and everything, man. We were at the park, too. We cleared that park out. Everybody left. It was like late night at the park, and people were just chilling in the park, and, man, we cleared everybody out of there, because cops come up, roll up on us. And he searched the car. It's just another story.
Now, in hindsight, would you have said, like, "Well, do you have a warrant to search my car?"
No, because being a 17-year-old kid, I was just concerned he wasn't going to call my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to do whatever he wanted. You know what I was hoping? I was hoping that the BB gun we had been messing with, like that week, that I didn't have it in the car, because I wasn't sure about that. Because we were underage for that, too. And that would have been a bigger deal, having the BB gun. I was like, man, this fool caught us for this and a BB gun. I was like, oh, Lord, please say I gave the BB gun back. He searched it. He didn't find anything. I did. I gave it back at some point before, but I don't remember. So that would have been a big. I just was, nope. Every time I've been pulled over, man, I've been yes, sir, no, sir, hoping I come off nice enough that they don't call my mom. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I never had my mom called. But I sat on many a curb, many a time. So we officially made 1 year in quarantine.
So much for 2 weeks, huh?
Been a long 2 weeks. Been a long
3 weeks flattening the curve.
Now it
feels
is
like
though.
12 years.
A year later. I mean, it's going. Everything's opening up. We got a vaccine. It's ready to roll. Do what you can. Still be safe.
It's getting
and
slow, man.
What's that?
I said it's slowly happening. We saw Alicia's parents for the first time in almost a year. Today, we've all started getting vaccines, and we just happened to run into him. We were going to go visit her grandfather, which we haven't seen in a year plus, because he's vaccinated now too. So we're like, let's go stop by. and we ran into, and we were going to grab something to eat, and her parents happened to be at the same restaurant, so
Oh wow.
it was funny. They were right in front of us too, so it was perfect.
How convenient. That's so nice.
I was.
Did you ever call to get it done, Dan? Or no?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Well, it's going to open up pretty soon anyway.
Yeah.
For everybody 16 and older.
Yeah.
When does that happen? Does that happen in mid-April or is it April 1st?
Mid-April.
April 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was telling people at work because they were asking. I said, yeah, I think everybody over 18, and I was wrong about that, could get it like in mid-April.
It's 16, but yeah.
Yeah, everyone. It's 50 on April 1st. 50, so.
Yeah.
That means in a couple months we could go back to doing this live in the same spot if we wanted to.
Yeah.
If we wanted to.
You know, I hate to say this, I love you guys, but it's just so much easier. That's like, I don't have to drive an hour back and forth, both ways.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
But there is something for missing, like a live audience, just like the cadence and like how we play off each other. It's better live than Skype. I will admit that.
Maybe
That's
we
probably
can.
due to my poor internet connection.
We'll talk about that soon and see what we end up doing. Maybe we could do it quarterly or something just to do it. And we'll figure it out. All right, break time already?
Let's take a break and then we'll go into some theme park news.
Well, I've been around the country, and I've met a lot of kids. Some kids are smart, and some kids are dumb, but I don't pass judgment, they're just having fun. Some kids get fucked up, and others refrain, but that's what make the world so great. No one should be the same. The kids are the future, you can see it in their eyes. They must overcome nationality if the world is to survive. And we'll sink with California
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Disneyland and all theme parks got guidance for reopening,
So Disneyland.
and his internet's still not on the.
So Dan, you're like you're expert on Disneyland. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit. We're going to record an episode, I think, in a few days of the Disney culture because we're going to go way more in depth there than we will right here. But within the last couple of weeks, the governor gave the okay for theme parks to open under some new guidelines. Didn't get the full guidelines actually until this Friday, but it was eligible as soon as April 1st. But Disney announced they were going to open April 30th. Which is after the Taste of Disney or Touch of Disney stuff that they have going on right now. So, do we want to go over some of the guidelines because they kind of cover everything for every theme park?
Yeah.
They
Okay.
cover every
Yeah,
park.
yeah.
I know what Magic Mountain's going to be the first. They're opening April 1st,
Mhm.
and that'll be part of it. And then Disneyland open April 30th. Knott's is scheduled to open in May. Is that what I've heard?
Yeah, I heard Knott's in May, and then I don't think Universal's actually said anything.
No.
So the new guidelines are going to be in place, and they may change again because Orange County is supposed to move tiers again this week. It's a possibility that they could actually move tiers again. So it's 15% capacity. If they move tiers this week, it would be 25% capacity. Although I don't know that Disney would do 25% capacity. I think they'd keep it a little bit lower, cap it at something to kind of see how it works out, and then move it aside. But we'll see. And then, there's all the restrictions on, I still don't think there's indoor dining. I think dining still has to be outdoors. For that, they don't have to, then this just came out on Friday, because everybody thought, they're going to do this like the reservation system, especially for Disneyland. It actually came out in the guidelines on Friday that they didn't have to do that. That you could walk up and buy tickets, although the demand for Disney is so high, I can't imagine Disney not doing some kind of a reservation system.
Right.
Because demand is so high. For that park. So we're there. There was some stupid stuff going around about like, you can't scream on a ride. That's not freaking true. The organization that put that stuff out said that's not what we said. They said that transmission is by things like screaming, singing, and things like that, but people misinterpreted it to be, you can't scream on a roller coaster.
Right.
You can't. You're gonna have to wear a mask on a roller coaster anyway because masks are 100%. Like that's got to happen.
And you should be with your group only, so.
Right. Well, the way that actually is written is that no party can hold more than 3 households, which I don't know how they work that out, but that's what it is. To me, that just means I don't think you can have like this super huge party. I think
you'd figure a group of maybe 10.
Group of 10 to 12. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. So, it looks like we're going to be back in business. Now, the other caveat to that is it's only California residents. It's only California residents.
It is only going to be
Yeah,
for...
heard.
So here's what's weird. I looked at it the other day because they released the guidelines and they released it by tier. Even at the least restrictive tier, it's still only California residents. What does that mean? It means non-Californians ain't going to go to Disneyland for at least another year.
Yeah.
At least another year. They're going to be going in 2023 or something.
And 15%, you're figuring maybe 7,000 people in the park?
At that, Disney has never actually officially released capacity. So there's that.
Yeah,
It does go to 25.
It's roughly about 50 in the main park, right?
I hear estimates anywhere from 50 to 70 to 80. It varies all over the place. But 7 to 10 would be the number that I think you would roll with. So anywhere from 7 to 10,000.
What are their numbers for like Halloween time?
They don't release them. Disney never releases numbers.
Well, like, has anybody ever like taken a guess, like,
All the time. People take guesses all the time as to what the park can be. That's why we're here talking about like, is capacity 50,000? Well, I've heard that it's 70,000. Like, we don't know. Disney has never actually said.
I've always thought it was somewhere around 100 between both parks.
Yeah. I could see that. There's another weird. Let's see how they play this one out. So originally when the stuff came out, the way that it was written was some people didn't get it because it said there was a limitation to indoor rides. Like the way it was worded kind of poorly from the state. But the way it actually is released now is that you can have indoor rides. Those indoor rides, though, cannot be longer than 15 minutes. So we'll see how they work around it, if they can work around it. But that is Rise of the Resistance, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean. You're
Yeah,
in there for
and the
an
queue
extended
needs to
amount of
remain
time.
outside.
And the queues need to remain outside, which for most things you can kind of do. You can keep your queues outside because that's where their extended queues are anyway. You would just walk all the way through, or shoot for something like Indiana Jones. If you don't meet that 15 minutes, you queue up outside, and then you just take everybody in through the exit. I mean, or walk until you walk. When you walk in, you walk straight through all the way to the front. So it's a continuous line of people. You don't ever stop. It's going to be limited anyway, so it's possible. Small World is somewhere around there in that area. I think it's a little bit less, but it's coming really close. Rise of the Resistance is definitely too long. All that ride takes place indoors. Even the queue, most of the queue takes place indoors too. So I don't know. We'll see.
But something like Small World or Pirates, you can isolate the party and you can keep the party within the household of the 3 households, and that adds to that time.
You can, and even something like Pirates, a large portion of the queue is outside anyway.
Yeah.
The largest portion of that queue is outside. So you can do that.
And you can cut it right there at the door and have people run through right there.
All of the queue for Small World is outside. Rise of the Resistance can be a problem. It can be a problem if it sticks to that. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Like I said, those are the basics.
The one that baffles me the most is Haunted Mansion.
I don't think Haunted Mansion, though, as a ride, is actually that long. Like, not time-wise.
But it's moving through that foyer and things like that. Are we going to consider that part of the ride, or is the elevator part of the ride, or is it not?
Yeah, I don't know. So they've got some work to do to figure that stuff out, and I'm sure there's not that they're gonna skirt things, but there's some technicalities you can kind of look at and be like, well, technically it's kind of this. One solution to that is you run both elevators at the same time, one and then the other, so you can a constant flow of people moving, because the ride system itself keeps moving. You only have to stop that ride when you're going to load somebody that needs it for the disability.
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm going to talk about this more, like I said, later, but only having California residents, it's going to hurt a little bit. Especially as the summer season comes.
You're getting that double-edged sword because you just sunsetted your annual pass program, and those are the people that were going to be going. The California residents are going to be going regularly, and you're losing money there because you're letting these people go in for next to nothing at this point. And a lot of them weren't paying for merchandise or anything like that. They were doing bare minimums. But now you've cut your admission down and saying only California residents can go. Your number, not admission, but your number of people that can go in, ticket prices are the same. Now you've got to make that back up. It's a sticky situation because who are the people that Disney makes money off of? It's not the California residents necessarily. It's the out-of-state, out-of-country tourists.
It can be.
For long periods.
You've got enough. You get somebody that's coming in from the Bay Area or something. They're gonna spend money because they can. They can go because they're California residents.
Right.
Yes. So they sunset the AP program, and that's gone. We knew for a long time we weren't the ones that spend money like out-of-state residents or people that only go to the park once a year. I'm going to be honest with you. I fully expect to see some kind of a new program by the end of summer. By the end of summer, I fully expect to see some kind of a different program they're not going to call it an annual pass because they sunset that term, but something similar, a flex program, something that allows me as a California resident to go a little bit more often, because as they start to see, maybe are we not making the money that, because we're doing, these people we know will come and they'll at least buy food, these kinds of things, continue to offer me a discount, continue to have special things for sale. You make up some of that. But, and we've talked about this before, I still feel the payment plan is gone. 100% the payment plan is gone. I think, and this is pure speculation, I think the payment plan is gone, and I think grad nights may be gone. I think grad nights may be gone because those kids do not spend money like a normal tourist. They don't do that. And you having switched up the way your grad night is from the traditional way that we went to grad night, to now it's you can go all day if you want to, and then go to the party only in DCA, that kind of stuff. To me, it's a little obvious they've kind of wanted to do away with it, but you don't want to be the bad guy. You know, saying, oh, we're going to get rid of this.
This is a good chance to do it.
This is a good time to do it. Blame COVID and say, hey, we're gonna take this away for now, just because we want to make sure we service the demand for our guests that are here. Blah blah blah. Throw us some bullshit line and then be like, well, we got rid of it. We don't need to do anything.
I mean, I guess it's the same because the AP program has been sunset. That's the same with those AP nights. Those AP nights were those grabs to say, hey, here's a special night for you. Spend money.
Right, and you can still do that with a pass. And in fact, my pass is still valid for discounts at least until April 30th. But I think that's going to be extended too, because that's a way to say, hey, why don't you come to downtown Disney and spend some money? Mm-hmm. And hey, we released this cute stuff. Didn't we release the cute stuff? So I'll go down and spend money. It's not right. They know what they're doing. It's a business. It's fine. They're in the business to make money. So you're going to do that and people are going to buy it. Giving me 20% off, that's not a bone. That's just saying, hey, we want you to keep spending money. And everybody else will say, well, they owe me. They don't owe you shit. They know if they offer me 20%.
They paid you back. They don't owe you anything.
Yeah. They don't owe me shit. They give me 20% and throw out some cool new merchandise. I'm going to go freaking get it. That's what's going to happen. And it still is. People are online, trying to get tickets for, look at the Touch of Disney shit. Like, freaking ridiculous the way people got tickets for that.
They was selling out pretty fast.
It sold out that day.
Completely.
Yeah. So my opinion is, like, going back to the Touch of Disney, like, the first couple of months of them reopening the park, they're going to do fine because people are just craving to go to Disneyland. I have a friend who's like, she goes, I just miss going to Disneyland. We used to go on Thursday nights. Just me and my husband would go. We'd have dinner, go on a few rides. And, that was our evening out. So people are craving that. So all the residents who can't go, like, they're going to have to take turns going because of capacity, are going to take advantage of being able to go once it's open. Now, once the summer months hit, because that was their peak season, they're going to take a little bit of hit, but you're still going to have enough Southern California residents who are starving to go.
And that's what it's going to be, because remember, you got rid of all of the pass holders, so it becomes, is it going to be the same price? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be the same price. I don't think you can charge the same price as to what you were, especially we can't offer this ride, we can't offer this, we can't offer this.
What was it before?
At peak, it was like $160 a day. Okay. At its very peak, like those peak days in the summertime, where it's like $160 for one park a day. I don't think you can charge that because it's a limited experience. Is it going to go down much? No, it's not going to be $40. Yeah, but it wouldn't surprise me to say, oh, it was $160. We're going to charge you $120. I wouldn't be surprised. And they have released no information about tickets, nothing. How to get them, nor what the prices are going to be. People are waiting for that. Okay,
I think they're still trying to figure it out. To be honest with you.
Well, I think so too. But then, like, you're right in saying, like, through the summer, you can get through the summer and say, okay, we can make this because it's just enough of a demand that people will go and pay that. But then to have people returning, well, dude, that for a family of 4, it's almost $1,000.
Yep.
For one day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's even me. I'm like, dude, that's expensive. Like,
that's just admission.
And that's just the admit. And if I'm going to go at that, I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to go all day if I'm going to spend that. So they're going to get more money out of me because I'm going to eat every meal there. Because I'm going to get my days, my worth of, out of the money. Yep. That's how that's going to be. So I think you'll get through summertime, maybe into the beginning of fall, but I fully expect you're going to see, okay, guys, especially if it looks like, oh, this is going to extend into 2022, you'll hear about some kind of other program to bring us back like that. But it's going to be like freaking cash only. In your hand, like John Witherspoon in Friday. Cash in your hand.
It'll be more like a season ticket for a sports team where you're going to have 22 days. Buy that, you get your days, blah, blah, blah.
Or the flex thing. Pay a price, then you go and reserve your days, so here it is.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, cash only. That payment thing's not coming back.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
That got him in this mess in the first place. So that's what that is. But everybody else has launched their themes or their food tasting events. Knott's is very successful at doing their food tasting events. They've been successful since last year doing that. Universal had theirs where they basically just served. Universal's was basically just the food you could get at the different restaurants that are there, which actually that was what Disney was too, but they brought it over from the other park. Like you could get the Monte Cristo from the Blue Bayou and all that kind of stuff. So that's what they were doing. It was very successful. Excuse me, all of them have been as far as that. So that's interesting that they do that. That's in a nutshell what the theme parks have got going on. Anything in particular you wanted to talk about?
Oh, you cover the no screaming rule.
Yeah. That was completely that was completely stupid. How can you
I just saw them like, what?
Yeah, because nobody read. It was like, no, that's freaking dumb. And then people were putting that up, and they'd be like, oh well, loophole, you have a mask on. No shit, of course. Like you're gonna have to keep the mask on. So, well, remind you that Disney has Walt Disney World to figure out what they can do because it's already been done. They just need to figure out how do we adapt it to California's guidelines. And that was one of them. You remember early on, after Disney had opened Walt Disney World, they changed their guidelines several times with the face coverings. They went through and said you need a face covering, and then started to see like, no, that's not going to work. So now the rule in Florida is it has to cover your nose and go under your chin. No gaiters, none of those. Have you seen those like bandanas that like go here and then just kind of hang down? You can't wear those. It has to be attached to your chin.
It has to be tucked.
Yeah.
Then I know that also in Florida, when you eat, you have to be sitting down eating. You can't like eat and walk.
And they changed that because it was like you could have your mask off if you were eating and drinking. We just had people that had an open Coke in their hand, just walking around. That's none of that is going to happen in California, dude. It's too strict.
No,
all right.
It hurts me to forget.
Yeah. Well, we got some movies that we have seen. I didn't watch Coming to America, the second one. I never watched the first one, so I can't talk about it.
But
I watched
it. On it.
I've watched it a couple
about
times.
I liked it, but of course it's not the original one. The original one, the funniest part was a fish out of water. This African guy visiting the United States and all the crazy stuff. This one didn't really have that too much. It was like a guy from the United States visiting Africa and adapting to it and not finding his place. There were some funny moments, but remember the barbershop scene, the guys in the barbershop?
Yeah, and they're still there.
The original one. That was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie because you have two guys playing 4 roles.
Yeah.
It was very brief and it was very brief in this one. I wish they would have expanded that more. I'm gonna give this away because I don't care. Randy Watson, Jackson Heights' own Randy Watson, needs to have his own film. I think if they did a film about Randy Watson, that would be hilarious.
That was one of the best parts is when Randy Watson and Sexual Chocolate come out at the end.
Yeah.
So honestly, the best way to describe Coming to America 2 is it is very similar to Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, where it's Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall putting together this movie, which pays homage to something that they did that was amazing. It was hilarious, but it's total patronage to itself. We're gonna get any famous black actor or actress we can get to be in this movie is in this. James Earl Jones reprises his role. Morgan Freeman's in it. Tracy Morgan's in it. Leslie Jones is in it. Anybody that you can get, these powerful names, and going back and paying homage to those other pieces, bringing back Sexual Chocolate, bringing back the barbershop guys, and all that, just playing on that, tying it all in to one quick scene, in the movie where they're at that bar, and trying to pick up women with Arsenio Hall trying to pick up women, semi. So, but it works because if you're going into this, you're not casually coming to America saying, oh, I wonder what this is. You're coming into this because you've seen the first one, you loved the first one, and you're like, I'm here to see these characters again. And that's exactly what Jay and Silent Bob Reboot was. It was that idea of it's making fun of sequels, it's making fun of reboots. We're bringing back these characters because we know you want to see what's up with them. But it was funny, and it had its moments, and it was great. And They did a good job with it, and it was totally worth it if you're a fan.
Man, I didn't even know Jay and Silent Bob Reboot came out. Where can I watch
Dude, I
it?
think it's on Netflix now.
Anybody know?
How old is it?
It's about 3 or 4 years old now, man. It's on
There you
Netflix
go.
now. You can just go watch it for free.
I'm looking it up, man. I don't see it.
Somebody has it, either Netflix or Hulu. Somebody has it.
I don't
Yeah,
have
it's not on Net. I think it's on Hulu or Amazon Prime.
One of the
So
two.
if you just type it in Google, it'll show you what it's on, like what platform it's on.
I always put like, where can I stream, and I put the movie in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it even has that on my. You know, a movie I was looking to stream and I can't find it to stream is Something Wicked This Way Comes.
It's a Disney movie?
Yeah, and it's not on Disney Plus.
Have you seen that movie?
Like when I was a kid, that's why I want to watch it again.
Oh, that's not that good. But okay.
That's why I want to watch it again.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. Know what I'm doing this week.
It was okay. Like I said, it was very much Kevin Smith patronizing to his fans.
Yeah, but it's Kevin Smith.
That's what he does.
Yeah. So
That's what he does.
that's fine.
And it's the same premise. It's somebody has a kid and they're trying to be the good dad. And you know it's not Silent Bob because he wouldn't talk about having a kid.
Hey, who else watched the 4 hours of Snyder? Anybody watch that?
No.
No,
I did not actually. I haven't had an opportunity.
Oh man, I did.
Sit down for
I
4
watched,
hours.
Well, I sat down for 6 because I started watching the 4 hour one,
Yeah.
and I got to one of the scenes with the Amazons at the beginning, and I was like, I don't remember this from the original movie, and I think I've only seen the original movie when it was released, so I have it. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and watch the original one. So I did. I watched the original one, and then I said, okay, I watched the Snyder Cut kind of over 2 days because it's a long movie. It doesn't feel that long, but it's a long movie. It's not the same movie like at all.
No, that's what it's not supposed to be.
It's not at all. Like there's very few scenes in the original release that are actually in the Snyder Cut. I mean, things take place in the same area, but I don't know. So some stuff I know was filmed new for it. Some stuff was filmed new, and I don't know if it's just like other stuff that he had filmed for it that he cut out and put this in instead, or like I don't know. But it like, what do you remember about the original? You remember any scenes from the original one? There's a scene in it where in the original one where Wonder Woman ends up having Aquaman. He doesn't even know he's doing it, holding the lasso, and he goes over and says some embarrassing kind of stuff. That's not in the Snyder Cut. Like a scene like that is not even but where that scene took place, there are scenes there in the Snyder Cut, but that particular piece is not in the Snyder Cut. So it's a much darker film than the original. It is like, actually, I don't know if you noticed this the other day, Dan. Mike asked in our other group chat if anybody has seen the Snyder Cut, and I said, yeah, I have, because it's rated R.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rated R. There's a couple of F-bombs in the movie, and then I think it's rated R because of the amount of violence in the movie. But it's a 4-hour movie, so there's a lot of violence in the movie because it's a 4-hour freaking movie. Yeah. And it's a solid it's not 3 minutes and 47 seconds. No, it's 4 hours. It really is that long of a movie.
Yeah, a friend of mine was saying that because it's broken up into acts, right?
Yes.
So he said that was the best way for him and his family to watch it. Was I wanted to watch it, my daughter wanted to watch it, but we didn't want to do the entire thing. We just watched them in acts. We watched the first act, take a break. If we didn't want to watch the second one, we just watched it the next day, and we just knocked it out over the course of a couple of days. He said it was palatable that way. He thought it was too much for us just because of our schedule.
Right.
Watch it.
And you can't even say it was a bad movie. It's just, it's long.
Yeah.
So I knocked out about probably the last 2 hours. I knocked out the complete thing. Like I just went and it's 4 hours. So I knocked out like the last half all in one sitting. But you know, it does not feel like it's 4 hours. It really doesn't. If you get into the story, you get into the story. There's a lot more Superman in this movie than there was in Justice League. There's a lot more backstory for the Flash a little bit, but Cyborg. And so I saw something that Snyder actually said this was meant to be a Cyborg movie because there's much backstory with Cyborg.
the thing with Cyborg is he's never really had major backstory even in the comics.
No.
He's had some, but this was a place where you could go, and this is the character you could launch out there and say, we can do anything, almost and everything with Cyborg.
Yeah. So I think it's cool to mention that this was done because the fans wanted it. And now I just read something, I think today, that Snyder is saying, well, keep watching it. Keep watching it, because if you keep watching it, Warner Brothers bent and said, let me make the Snyder Cut. Maybe they'll bend and say, let me finish the trilogy like I was supposed to. Because there's total setup for other movies. And he's released like what he said, like this is where we were going to go with that kind of thing. So it was totally worth it. This, I don't know. Wonder Woman was really good, the first one. But this is a damn good movie. And it's not a Marvel movie at all. But I would watch it, even if you watch it in pieces, I would watch it. And you get to see, damn, this is the universe that could have been. That could have been. And it's there. The whole setup is there. I enjoyed it, dude. I thought it was good. It doesn't, like I said, it's not a Marvel movie, and I'm not even going to, to me, that's apples and oranges. They don't have the same tone.
They don't.
DC movies are always way darker. Even in the visuals are way darker. I just watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. I know we'll talk about that in a second, but total different vibe. Total different vibe from what you get from the two things. But
so
it is worth the watch.
I had a friend of mine who watched it. He watched it at I guess at midnight when it came out, or he watched it early in the morning.
Oh, good God!
Because he whatchamacallit, he went to work the next day and he told me about it. I go, hey, so did you stay up to watch it? He's all, fuck yeah, I did. I go, how was it? He's all, so much better. And this guy is a true comic book fan. Like, he's like a second generation comic book fan. He was telling me that his dad has the original runs of Days of Future Past storylines. So he's grown up with like around sci-fi and that kind of stuff. So he knows what he's talking about. I always, when I ask him like, how was this? He's all, it wasn't that good. So I trust his opinions. And you just like, dude, this was so great. And he told me about the Cyborg thing. And I was talking, goes, dude, know my first introduction to Cyborg was? He's all, what? I go, when he was on the Super Friends. Do you remember that? And we're like, who the hell is this guy? That was my thinking, was, who's this guy?
I don't remember.
And then like later on, he was in the Teen Titans storyline.
Yeah. Well, that I do, because I read some Teen Titans. But no, there's that. I mean, Darkseid is in this movie. Desaad is in this movie. It's just freaking cool, dude. It's a cool movie. Yeah, not a Marvel movie, but definitely worth the viewing and thinking, man, they should have made this as the movie, because it would have done. I think it would have done a lot better than it actually did. And watching the original again, I didn't think it was bad, but watching the other one, you're like, oh yeah, this is a way better movie. Like I see what people were talking about.
Right. Going back super quickly to our conversation about, length in terms of that, I find it funny that none of us brought up the 10 Commandments.
Which is only like, isn't it maybe 3 hours tops?
It's 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well,
But even like Return of the King and things like that, those are just over 3 hours. So those were the big ones, though. So nothing this long since, let's say, the 60s.
And you just don't have the audience for it anymore. Like 2.5 hours is about what our attention span is.
And that's if you're lucky.
Yeah,
and that's why
so many people do content in 15-second bites nowadays,
Yeah. That's why like the Netflix series and like Hulu series do so well, because like an hour episode, then you can move on. Like that. I mean, I try not to binge watch like more than 2 episodes at a time, because like I know my attention span is just shot now.
Well, you know what else is short? WandaVision was short.
Yeah.
Did they even hit 25 minutes an episode?
Yeah, the later ones got to about 35.
So that ended.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was worth it, but I don't think it gave us what a lot of people thought it was going to give us.
No, not at all.
Like, and they kind of got red herring. I mean, it was an interesting end to the story, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here. And it did well enough that they're calling now for, like, it wasn't supposed to have a season 2, but now they're talking about maybe we'll make a season 2 because it did so damn well. So we will see. What do you guys think about WandaVision?
I really did like it, but like you said, the final episode was a little bit anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It felt that way, that, or you were begging for more. Like, where's this going? The battle scene between everybody, especially the Double Vision battle scene, is like, there's a great meme out there where you have the hard fought battle between Agatha and Wanda, but then you get this. It's basically a chess game between the two visions,
Yeah.
or a theologic scholarly battle, and it leaves everything open.
That kind of
Which
went nowhere.
I guess which is nice. It kind of leaves everything open, but I think what it did really well is it's giving us a feel, and we're going to go back to Falcon Winter Soldier too, is that feel for what it was like for the people who didn't die with the blip and didn't lose somebody because of the war with Thanos. They didn't lose anything, or they were the ones that were left behind, basically. Not to go into a Kirk Cameron miniseries or anything like that, but
Please, no.
So that part was good. Like I said, I would have liked to see, one more episode is kind of a little bit more of a climax, but I did like it a lot.
I did like it. I thought it could have been expanded a little bit more, maybe going like to 10 episodes, 12 episodes, just to flesh out the story a little bit more. That's my opinion. I know it's rather expensive, and I know there was plans for other things to be started a lot sooner. So that's why this was kind of like, 12 episodes, because they're going to go into this and Falcon Winter Soldier, and then Black Widow was supposed to come out.
Right.
So we'll talk about it a little bit.
Well, go ahead, because there's not much news other than what you're going to say with Black Widow.
Black Widow is going to be released July 9th, and it's going to be in theaters and Disney Plus. It is going to be a premium for Disney Plus, so you have to pay a little bit extra. But like for those of you who don't want to go to the theater and just want to watch it in your chonies, that's great. And then like Rick says, like I pay $25 and my whole family could see it, and we could eat what we want to and save a lot of money, and it saves us money in the long run.
Yeah, I didn't do it with Raya and the Last Dragon because I wasn't as familiar with it. But with something like Black Widow, if the time comes and we're feeling that still, that it is a good deal. It's something I might do more for that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still whatever. I heard Riot was good though.
So have I.
But it's honestly physically just me finding time to sit there and watch it. So, wasn't there a Doctor Strange reference at the end of WandaVision? Something with the eye? I can't remember. I want to say there was a reference to Doctor Strange in the post-credit scene in WandaVision, but I really don't remember.
I don't remember if it was an eye or it was just the idea. I don't know. Because there was the two end credit scenes.
Yeah. And
the first one was the one with the Skrulls, and that was a little bit more of the setup for Captain Marvel, or for Photon's adventure, whatever would go there. And then the other one was more. It still felt more like a Mephisto reference.
Maybe.
Because it was she saw herself, and the kids were screaming or something like that, and it was not that we can YouTube this and find out what it really is, but
yeah, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it's there. There's all kinds of hidden stuff
Mm-hmm.
there that go through, and there was all kinds of stuff that was right in front of your face, and you didn't notice it until it came up. But the cool part, I think one of that was the costume was cool to actually give her that, and then to figure out like, oh yeah, they never actually gave her a name. She never actually. We called her the Scarlet Witch, but she was never actually called the Scarlet Witch.
No.
I think we only call her the Scarlet Witch because we know who she is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a Scarlet Witch. In Vision.
So, like we said when we first started watching WandaVision, what the hell are we watching? That's not the same with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
No.
Have you guys seen the first two episodes yet?
Yeah,
Yes.
I watched them.
I just actually finished them a little while ago. I had, again, time. We went back to work this week, so all my time has been dedicated to that. But I thought it's good. It's good. This one has me hooked. Remember when we watched WandaVision the first time? I was like, I don't know what the fuck I watched, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, we just kept on watching and
Yeah,
watching, 'cause, like, what the hell's gonna happen
this
next?
This one's different. It's a lot more of a Winter Soldier vibe.
Yeah. Which everybody knows is my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's more of a vibe like that. Where this one, somebody had said, I don't remember, Rick actually said, it gives you a glimpse into what people that survived the blimp or the blip we're doing. This one goes in the other side of that. It's a very human story because it deals with the Winter Soldier in therapy, which I think is going to go. That's going to be a thing. There's something there with the therapy, but you're like, yeah, this dude isn't just going to all of a sudden not be controlled and then not have bad memories of what he's done, or he's got issues. Like he full on has issues. And then on the other side of that coin is with Sam Wilson basically dealing with everyday life. The fact that there's no income for being a hero. It doesn't exist.
No.
So him having to deal with that, I thought was a really interesting play on what they're going to do.
Right.
Yes, he's this hero, but there's a scene where, and I won't give it away, I won't spoil it, but where he tries to do something and gets basically told, well, you haven't had an income in 5 years. Well, I've been gone for 5 years, and there really is it's goodwill. Saving the world is goodwill. It's not really on the payroll.
Exactly.
So I thought that was interesting. And then we're going to see a character from Winter Soldier, from the actual film, The Winter Soldier, coming up here soon. So I'm interested in that. How many episodes is this? Same? 8?
I
Something like that?
think it's 6.
Yeah,
That's
it's 6. It's a lot less. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're gonna see you're expecting a character from what is it? Is it Civil War? Or is it from Avengers 2? Age of Ultron?
Oh, it's Civil War. It's Civil War. Is it Civil War? Was Civil War a Captain America movie? It is, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's that. You're expecting a character from Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of what this character did. He caused the Civil War. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
That's how it turns out. All right, I'm looking forward to it. Okay.
With the new Captain America, which is not too much of a spoiler, have you seen The Boys yet on Amazon Prime?
No.
When you get a chance, if you ever get a chance, watch The Boys. Just to go over, I mean, I just started watching it, and I'm like I just started season 2, and it's 2 seasons long. So basically, what The Boys are is like these superheroes in a different real world, and like how they're like part of a corporation that controls them, and just like all the things that go in there. And the boys are these people who want to take down these superheroes for wrongs that have been done about them. And I'm not going to give too much away, but like one guy is angry at the superheroes because they killed his girlfriend. He was having hold hands with her, and there's a speedster, somebody who's super fast, that runs right through her, and she like dies. I mean, she goes right, he literally like obliterates her, and all the guys holding her hands. So there's the angry people who are resentful towards soldiers or superheroes. So when he's in the new Captain America's in the stadium, it kind of gives me a Boys feel of that for me. So you guys should get a chance, check out The Boys.
But you guys have figured out who the new Captain America is, right?
Yeah.
You mean U.S. Agent?
He's U.S. Agent, yeah.
Yeah. I like how the Enfys Nest character is basically Enfys Nest. The thing that she's doing, taking stuff for what we don't know the reason yet, but whatever she's taking and giving it in Robin Hood, I was like, holy crap, she is Enfys Nest, and that's like Enfys Nest. You guys know who Enfys Nest is, right?
No.
From Solo.
No.
From Solo.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the chick from Solo. Yeah, it's
Oh,
the same.
wow.
It's the same basic premise for her character.
That's funny.
I saw her and I was like, yeah, it's Enfys Nest. And then what she does, I'm like, that's just like Enfys Nest. Okay.
But again, what I love about it is that you're seeing almost these people who were, because the entire idea of the Flag Smashers is they want the world back, during the blip, basically. So these are the people that are actually kind of validating what Thanos did.
Yeah.
Thanos' belief was the universe or this world will be better with half that population. Things were, and these people are validating that they're saying it was better.
One person, one world.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it is like a deep, much like Winter Soldier, it is a very deep, like, not really a spy story, but it's more of that. Somebody had said it comes off like a buddy cop kind of thing. There are humorous moments between the two because they kind of don't get along.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go that far.
And
to say that.
that's the difference between the Marvel and DC movies. Is the Marvel movies, while having that strong story and pieces like that, they do have those light moments, those comedic moments where you have a chuckle and a laugh. and some of those DC movies don't.
They don't. And that would probably make them a little. Well, they are, but they don't come off like Marvel movies do.
Mhm.
We've said this for a long time, but the TV shows do a better job at that than the DC films do.
Right.
Completely. Hey, I'm going to make a correction to something we have on our list. Did you actually hear that today Comic-Con announced they're going to have something in November?
Yes, I did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're going to have a 3-day Comic-Con in November, although there is very little details. They just announced that today.
Oh.
So we have it in the notes here that it's pushed to 2022. So I got an email a couple of weeks ago because I've had tickets for the last 2 years, that it would be pushed to, and I was fine with that because they were like, you still can't get by July, even though everything's rolling out really good. You can't have 100,000 people in San Diego by July. Fully understandable. Okay, push it one more year, and then all of a sudden said they're going to have. It was announced this morning, a 3-day thing over Thanksgiving weekend. To see how that's going to work. No details were released other than that, which I'm waiting for because time-wise, I just don't think that's a good weekend for me to go to a con. If they're going to take, well, you had ticket. No. Give me the big one. Just erase it and say, if you want to buy tickets for this, you can buy tickets for this. Let that happen. Because I already know it's going to be limited anyway, because it's not going to be as big as it normally would, but I'd rather go to the much bigger one. You know, I only have 2 days, but I'd rather go to the much bigger one. So we'll see. But yeah, that just got announced today. So we'll see. More information to come.
So somebody was talking on Reddit, I believe it was, and they asked one of the people that worked with Mike Judge if they were working on a reboot, because the rumors had been that it was in the works for a while, and he pretty much flat out said yes, they still are working on it, and it's supposed to take place quite a bit of time after
It's
the
like
original
13
series.
years.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be pretty close to
I heard
real
15
time
years.
difference. Because when did the original series end? About 2010.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Something around
2010.
So, and it's supposed to deal with that. And people are just saying it's really timely right now because what was Hank Hill? Hank Hill was the Texas conservative, you know, that we made light of, but you know he still had that heart. We still knew that he had good intentions. And how's that going to work in our current political climate and social climate? You know, but Mike Judge is one who loves satire, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah. I'm just happy for it. I thought King of the Hill was a brilliant show.
It was a
Going
hilarious
back
show.
on it, I was just thinking how funny stuff is. I mean, a friend of mine said, like, goes, you know, I think this whole COVID thing was to get Trump out of office. And he goes on and goes, I'm kind of like Dale Gribble. And I go, Dale, I'm going to put my foot up the ass if you start talking all this nonsense. And we just laugh, you know, just for remember how funny King of the Hill was. I said, you know what? I need to go back and start just rewatching King of the Hill. And I went back to the first episode and I go, this is still funny. It still hits it, you know? That's my boy. I ain't going to hit my boy. I love my boy.
I was just thinking about it the other day too. After we talked about the reboot, I happened to look at the framed mat that we had out at a wedding, and one of the people that signed it was a friend of mine, and she signed it for her and her boyfriend and her daughter. And I swear to God, he was the real life Lucky from King of the Hill. Had the look, had the same draw, everything about him, man. He was just, the only difference was he didn't slip on the PP at the Costco. But I mean, he just reminded me of him down to a T. And I mean no disrespect, you know, it was a very endearing type thing, but that brought back the memories of that too, and it was such a funny show. And coming out of Beavis and Butthead, you know, we're like, really, you're gonna take that guy basically and make him a character? It worked.
Did you hear that? Beavis and Butthead, wherever they're putting it on Paramount or wherever it's going to go, it's going to be it's going to be worse than Peacocked because they don't have the rights to all the music. So those bits aren't going to be included.
And
Yeah,
those were
gonna
like the
suck.
funniest bits were the videos.
Yeah,
I remember,
they're not going
like,
to have that.
Was it Sick of It All where they had like the video where they're doing the different like slam dance moves, like the gorilla, the cherry picker and all that kind of stuff, and you see those guys doing it too? Beavis and
Yeah,
Butthead.
Sick of It All video. Yeah. Just so much from that was the music videos. To not have that piece is gonna suck.
I remember when I first got my iPod with video, I bought like a episode of Beavis and Butthead, and like so there's no videos because obviously I don't have the rights for it. I'm like, okay, this is funny, but where are the videos? Because that's what made it so much better.
It was. Some of the best lines came out of the videos.
Yeah, that's one that probably is just not gonna hold up. It was very much a piece of its time. So, all right, break time again.
Let's take a break.
Good.
We are scientists in our lab, looking through the microscope. The little glass sides, they never lie. How can this fall my coat? I've never seen anything like it before. This amoeba's got a mind of its own. But don't turn your back to stupid science world. This is reaching for the telephone. One cell thing, hardly knows it's alive. You're better off dead if you only knew your growing life's taking a dive. I've never seen anything like it before. This amoeba's got a mind of its own. But don't turn away, you stupid science world. This is reaching for the telephone.
Everyone knows that once Disney took over, everything that wasn't part of the Disney quote-unquote canon is considered legends. That includes things like the original Clone Wars series, which were a series of shorts by Jenny Tatarsky. It includes things like the Ewok show and the movies that were subsequent to that. And those pieces, those are going to end up on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I just saw that about the Ewoks.
Yeah, so Ewoks Battle of Endor, and Caravan of Courage, the Star Wars Ewoks TV series, Season 1 and Season 2, the Clone Wars animated series, which actually does have a setup for Episode 3 in it. And people don't remember that part.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it does. That's what they...
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
It was Attack of the Clones 2.5, basically.
Yeah, it was. It was.
So isn't that where they take the Chancellor, right? They actually take him.
I believe they take the Chancellor in him, and then, because Grievous is on Coruscant, and it's one of the Jedi. He doesn't kill her, but she ends up like tied down or something like that in the scene, and he takes the I believe he takes her lightsaber too, and it was actually a deleted scene, if I remember right, from Revenge of the Sith.
Maybe, but I do remember that part in the series where they did take the Chancellor.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing that and being like, oh, that set up what you had for Episode 3.
Yeah.
And then
at the very
I
beginning
also
of
remember
episode
that's where we saw Obi-Wan wearing the stormtrooper or the clone trooper armor.
Yeah. That's when he had some of that armor. That was where you got some of those early Kit Fisto shorts that made him an awesome character that you got like 10 seconds worth of in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, seriously. He got ah.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it when he died.
It set up Mace Windu as a badass. There was some awesome shorts with Mace Windu.
I remember like silent shorts with Anakin and Padme. Just their action. They were just
all those
silent,
were
there was
silent.
No
A
dialogue.
lot of them, if not all of them, were silent.
Yeah, I think they almost all were. I can't remember one that has dialogue. To be honest with you,
And
they were all like a couple of minutes long.
And there was the one where Anakin actually went through the trials.
I don't remember that one. I have to
So,
watch
yeah,
it. I have them.
They had one where Anakin went through the trials, and they showed him cutting off the Padawan braid, or somebody cut off the Padawan braid.
Oh, that part I do remember.
So that was all part of that too. It was I honestly loved that series. I didn't get into the main series now, the Disney series, as much as I should have. So most of my knowledge is from that original series.
Well, they're good. You should go back and watch them, especially the ones that they just did.
I have
Those are
a
really
article that I've been saving. It's like the most essential episodes from the Clone Wars series.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 15 or 20 episodes, something like that.
Yeah, some of them don't have anything to do with much. Some of them are kind of filler. They're all good, but some of them are kind of filler.
But it's like, if you want to understand the story, those are the 15 or 20 they say to watch. So I'm like, I'll start with that, and then I can fill in later.
One of the things I'm
Sounds
excited
good to
for
me.
is we're gonna see for I guess a 4K version of a Story of a Fateful Wookiee, which is like the Boba Fett short that was introduced in the Christmas special.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yeah, that's what it was called. So that little cartoon is gonna be available for one of the first times streaming. It was a bonus on one of the discs for the the Blu-ray release, and
I do
we've
remember that.
we've all seen it. I mean, that was the best part of the Christmas special, in my opinion.
Right.
But like this is a part that introduced Boba Fett, and with the new Boba Fett series coming along, some of these elements might be introduced to canon. So we will see how everything goes. And then I'm also wanting to watch the Ewoks Adventure, the live action ones, the Caravan of Courage and the Battle for Endor. I just remember like how cool these were at the time, because Star Wars had ended, like, or Return of the Jedi had come out 2 or 3 years before, and we were still huge Star Wars fans, even though we kind of had moved on to like other stuff like G.I. Joe and Transformers, but we were still like Star Wars fans to the core. And when something came out, I was like, oh my god, this is cool. I mean, looking back at it, yeah, it was probably kind of cheesy and kind of dumb, but like it was still something that I hold a lot of nostalgia for.
Those I only barely remember, but was Wilford Brimley part of one of them?
Yeah.
I believe he was in the Battle for Endor.
Okay. See, that's the only thing I barely remember. And he was doing like Quaker Oats commercials or something around the same time, and I'm like, that's that dude from that commercial. That's what I remember.
And I remember these being such a big deal that they were simulcast in stereo. So like you put it onto a radio station and you could hear the sounds going on the whole time. So you had that surround. I mean, early, the stereo sound, because most TVs at the time were mono, and we didn't have the surround sound set up for your most televisions yet. So I remember like my dad trying to play around with it so he could like listen to it. I'm like, oh, this sounds so cool.
That is pretty cool. So are those original VHS worth anything?
Man, VHS, that's unless you got something crazy, VHS ain't worth crap.
I'll tell you what.
No, there's always those rumors that always that stuff that gets put out, like, oh my god, if you own Disney VHS, you could be on a gold mine. No, it's very, very rare. Most of your stuff's not worth shit. You should give it to somebody that still has a VCR.
It's mass
Most of your stuff's
produced.
not worth shit. Yeah, you know where you can find those tapes? At Amoeba.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them Amoeba's gonna have.
You're just gonna have to stand in line for a really long time.
Yeah, Xavier.
At least till
Lotus in
Thursday.
there. Amoeba.
Yeah, so Amoeba opens
sorry.
up
I'm gonna play that
April
song too.
1st. So Amoeba opens up April 1st. I talked to a friend of mine who works there. He's all, it's going to be nuts for when it first opens because it's going to be 10% capacity.
Dang, 10%.
We know how crowded Amoeba gets, and they've never said you got to stop coming in because we've reached capacity. So it's going to be nuts. I even told him, I said, yeah, I don't plan to go for a while, but first because I don't want to spend any more money. But another reason just because it's I'm gonna have to go there and wait in line, and the line's gonna be 6 feet apart, so it's gonna be super long. I'm no, I don't need to go right away. When it gets reaching up a little bit more, I will go, but I do plan to go. Amoeba always got some cool shit there. Every time I go there, there's always something I want.
Yeah, that was one of those things, man. Is when we were in downtown LA this weekend. I couldn't remember the opening day, and I had to come back to look at this because I was like, should we try to go to Amoeba? Since we're already out this way anyway, but then I'm like, no, I don't think it opens till April. So I'm glad I checked. But yeah, man, there's always something there. Always something there you want. Maybe they have a Misfits 7-inch too.
They could have. So the Misfits first 7-inch has sold for $10,000. Over $10,000. Let's see. The in demand is Cough Cool on the A side and She on the B side, and only 5,000 were pressed.
No, 500.
500 were pressed, yeah. And it's the only appearance of Manny Martinez, which that's the only thing he ever did with the Misfits that he recorded on. I remember
Halloween? No.
I remember Halloween, but I remember about 20 years ago going to Doctor Strange, and they said, yeah, we have a copy of it. It's $500. That was 20 years ago. I didn't have $500 at the time. That was just something that I couldn't afford. I know the Beware EP was going around for the same amount of money. I purchased, and these are a lot more available, early copies of Earth AD and Die Diamond Darling, which I've had signed by the whole band who's played on them. And those were $70 to $80. I know I could probably get, if I really found a collector, probably get $500 for them. But yeah, this is just nuts. There's just these people, crazy people with money who want to hoard this shit, and are willing to dish out that amount. Talking to our Misfits vinyl expert, Alex, also one of our proud sponsors from Orange Circle Atomic. He was telling me his friend had a copy of Horror Business autographed, and he sold it for $600 and needing the money, and that guy who bought it flipped it for $6,700.
Dang.
Oh, for how much?
$6,700. So we got
signed. You said
signed.
Oh, that's because it's signed.
Yeah.
Well, it could go that high for sure.
Yep.
And this is a different one. Only 20 of them were made. This one, because it's a yellow vinyl, it's a double A side of Horror Business pressed on yellow wax. So the double A side makes it worth money. And because it is autographed.
That and signed, yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Cough Cool is not worth $10,000, dude. I don't know why some idiot bought it for that much, but good for the guy that sold it, because it's not worth that much.
Yeah, because they got money to waste. If I had money to waste, I'd just buy it too.
Yeah, but I wouldn't pay that because it's not worth that. It's ridiculous.
No.
Yes, stuff gets expensive. It's in the hundreds. It's in the maybe low thousands, depending on what it is. But that's ridiculous.
10,000 is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it in Europe or something too? Or was it here in the States or what?
That I can't remember off the top of my head.
It doesn't say, because it was on Discogs, and they just say what has gone for the most. Now, just to put this in perspective of other things that have gone for a lot of money, the Beatles, the Butcher cover, a good copy of that's going for maybe about $100,000. And that's just to put it in perspective of expensive record. Well, not $100,000, but a good copy of that's going for around the $10,000 mark if you could find a good copy, if not more.
Yeah, but that's the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's not the Misfits.
Yeah, but there was.
Yeah, but some
also
people
gotta
treat the
think-
Misfits like they are the Beatles.
There's more copies of that going around, of the Butcher cover going around, than there is of Cough Cool. So
There's a lot of stuff I want out there, but 10,000. I found my my Linda Ronstadt that I wanted. I was going for $100. I was able to find it. My wife found it, rather. We got it for, as she's across the hall here saying, "Nope, you didn't find it."
I'm gonna make that louder when I do the audio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
How much did you find it for, Rick?
I ended up getting it for 40.
No, Alicia. How much did Alicia find it for?
No, she found it for
40
$40, and they screwed up with a system online, and it didn't ask for shipping details. So the store called her, and from Florida, and they were like, "Well, since it was a screw up on our part, we won't charge you for shipping." So we got it $40 shipped.
Wow.
Nice.
And this thing's usually 3 figures. So
You know how much I paid for mine?
Where did she get it from? How did she find it?
how did you find it?
I just searched for it on.
She just Googled. Because I'd been looking for it on Discogs, and I think I found it for about $75, and I was going to kind of go for it. She's like, "No, don't buy it for $75. I'll look tomorrow." It was her day off, so she did a deeper search, and she found it.
Well, we found it at Mad Platter years ago for like $14 and never bought it.
Yeah, sadly, we missed our opportunity at Mad Platter for like $15 years ago.
Rick, if I tell you how much I paid for mine, you promise not to kill me?
Yes.
I paid under $5 for mine.
Damn.
Rhino had this one like record collection. It was like 10,000 records that they bought from some guy, and there were like there was some cool shit, there was some shitty shit, and that was one of the records in there. And I think it was like $1 each, $2 each, and I'm like, I don't remember exactly what I paid, so I know it's under $5 I paid for mine.
Yeah. It was one of those ones they didn't know what they had, basically.
They had just so much that they had to get rid of it. I mean, they were just like telling me like, yeah, some guy grabbed all the Clash albums. I'm like, motherfucker. Because like you just found there were so many records, you just found an open spot. They did it in their parking lot. You just found an open spot and started looking through them. So like I just went.
Go ahead.
So I just like found a spot and like I was like in the A's and like somebody was in the C's and they grabbed all the Clash shit. I'm like, fuck.
Damn. So it was basically the real life version of that scene from High Fidelity.
Yeah.
Where the wife gives away the record collection for $1. Or wants to give it away for $1.
Yeah,
Damn.
exactly.
That's crazy, man. You know what else is crazy? WWE has, quote unquote, banned the leg slap.
What I was thinking about that. What exactly is the leg slap?
So when somebody goes for a super kick or something like that, if you look carefully, they slap their leg to make it look like it makes that it makes a louder noise, and it makes it look more painful. Because you hear that noise, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so that's what it is. They're banning that.
Yeah, so apparently Vince doesn't like it, and he feels that too many people make it too obvious that they're slapping their leg. So there have been signs in the locker rooms and in the back, the gorilla position saying, do not slap your leg when kicking. And I guess people are starting to get fined for it.
Oh.
And it's hilarious because Don Callis has turned around and he put out a shirt that says, "Do not slap leg when kicking." So he's making money off of this. And then they were doing the same thing on one of the Being Elite episodes or on AEW Dynamite, I can't remember what it was, where they were like, they'd have random signs that said that all over the place. Hey, do not slap leg while eating and catering or something like that.
Yeah, I saw one. It might have been on Being in the Elite, where it was Matt Hardy that was looking at it and it said, "Do not slap leg when laughing at joke," or something like that. It was, a leg slapper kind of thing.
Yeah.
When telling a joke. I thought that was pretty funny. It's dumb, dude. It'll go away. But it's one of those things. It's like it does make the sound the same way you'd stomp when you punch with your foot. Because if you watch that, because of there's a mic under the ring.
Yeah.
So it enhances that sound. So that's part of selling it. It's like it sounds like it was painful.
Yep.
There's still people that punch that make a sound. I can't figure out how they do it. Have you seen that? Where people they'll throw a quick punch, a quick jab, and they do something that I can't see what they do. But yeah, I don't know. But I look for that, dude, and I don't see the other hand move. So there's a way to do it. We don't talk about his name much because he's kind of on the outs. But even Marty Scurll, when he would take your fingers and snap them, he'd do something where he makes a sound with his body, and you hear it. Like so, there's other tricks to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
It was you do notice it if you pay attention. You see a lot of guys do it. Shawn Michaels did it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, James
But he
Storm.
was
James
the-
Storm too. Another one. Super kick specialist would constantly do it.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things though that if you do it well, it almost looks like you're just balancing yourself. But if you don't do it well, it's more obvious.
No, never pay attention to. I'll never pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I'll look for it now.
I've always noticed.
Everyone's
I've noticed
doing
it. Like I said, like, hey, why does he slap himself when he kicks? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I remember I haven't watched wrestling like in 20 years, so. Actually, 20 years, almost 20 years exactly when WCW folded up. It's the 20th
Yeah.
anniversary of that.
This year, yeah.
No, this week.
Oh, is it really this week?
It's this week. I forgot to put it in there, but I just, as we were doing this, I wanted to mention that.
This is the week that Shane McMahon bought WCW?
Yep. I have a real quick question. Do you think wrestling is better for it now that there's only one, well, there was only one company for the longest time, one really big company for the longest time?
No. Competition
Yeah.
makes things thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after that happened, that's when ratings started to decline and stuff. Because you have to have somebody else that's doing something to say, we have to top what they're doing.
I think it was good for indie wrestling.
Yeah.
Because you can't have everybody on every TV show. You cut people, and there's people that have made a name for themselves and have made a career out of being independent wrestlers. Assholes aside, Joey Ryan did a really good job at that for being someone who never wrestled for one of the major promotions. He was making good money as an independent wrestler,
Up until AEW, the Young Bucks too.
Yeah.
Going and doing stuff. So let's change it to baseball.
So
Baseball.
is returning. Dodger Stadium has put a cap at 11,000 for when they open right away.
So they're
Well,
putting a limit.
he said 11,000 as a cap.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, wouldn't that roughly be about 25%?
Yes.
Because you figure most stadiums hold 45,000 when sold out, completely packed.
Dodger is closer. I want to say Dodger's closer to 60,000.
Okay,
Dodgers
so
is
11,000 of that is.
There you go. So 20%.
Well, we lost you for a long time there, so I hope you heard what we said.
Yeah, I know.
So that's about a quarter. It's close.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But for some stadiums, they can actually have more fans in the stadiums than they do regulars, like the Miami Marlins. They're going to be capped at 8,000, and they only get like 5,000 people per game. So they're going to have more.
Well, you said the Marlins?
Yeah.
Isn't Florida full open anyway?
Yeah, but they're still capping. I think MLB is setting rules that they have to full cap it.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause they're
That's-
capping it for
that makes sense.
AEW still too.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, but wasn't UFC sold out yesterday?
I don't know if it's to full capacity. I don't know what they have. I know it's already sold out though. Whatever it is, I don't know what the number is though for it.
I thought it was full capacity, to be honest with you.
Oh.
We'll see. Yeah, that's interesting. Anything else about baseball? As far as the capacity, it's open. Hey, have you heard anything about tickets being crazy expensive? Because that's what everybody's saying.
Okay, so Dodger Stadium, they had a lottery for the tickets. So that, because it's like, only certain people go, they're going to okay, just put your tickets, put your name in it. If you get tickets, you get tickets. So, they're trying to cut down on scalpers by doing this. But yeah, they're going to be expensive. Like somebody said, did you register? I said, no. Why is all? Because I don't want to pay $200 to go to the game, plus lose pay, plus buy two $20 IPAs. So it's going to be $300 I'm going to be spending on a ticket. I don't want to do that. So.
Yeah, I'd imagine right now, as we're in this era of, okay, it's capped like this, that they would be. And that's what I've heard for weeks, that it's going to be really expensive to try to go to a baseball game because it's such a limited capacity.
Are they even doing single game tickets yet? I thought LA was only doing annual passes, or not annual passes, season ticket holders first.
They changed the rules, and they're gonna for the first few games of the season they're gonna do individuals, and then as things are opening up more in June and July, they're gonna have season passes or season ticket holders and plans. So we will see.
Dang, wonder what those are going to go for if individual tickets are going to be expensive.
And you got to remember that they're coming off a championship season, so like people are just crazy want to go.
Right.
Do they serve chicken sandwiches at the Dodger game?
That I don't know, but I know McDonald's now has their spicy, crispy chicken sandwich, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's a lot like Chick-fil-A without having to wait fucking an hour in line for Chick-fil-A.
Nah, Chick-fil-A's not that long, but okay.
Dude, the
I wouldn't
line
know.
at
I
crossings
wouldn't know.
every time, I don't even go anymore because the line's so crazy long.
Really, it moves fast. Doesn't it move fast? The one
You
here
know-
on Hidden Valley does.
I would imagine it probably does, but I see it and I'm on a time crunch. I only have a 45-minute lunch. So usually I try to go where it's empty, someplace somewhat healthy.
Mobile order, too.
Yeah. So, but I started doing pokey. I do a lot of pokey. So,
Well, that was a crazy, extraordinary eats. We're like, oh, okay, yeah,
Well, I got another place
Chicken
that I
sandwich
want to
from
review
McDonald's.
real quick.
go for it.
So there's a place over by where I live in Alhambra called Spanglish. Little mom and pop taco stand. They do really good food. I went there one time because they had a carne asada breakfast burrito, which is a shit. It was delicious. They also do al pastor, a breakfast burrito, which like you don't normally see for a breakfast burrito. My wife had chilaquiles with carne asada, which was good.
Oh wow.
And I went a couple weeks later and I ordered a carne asada breakfast burrito. A carnitas, a burrito. Oh my god, that shit was delicious. They do aguas frescas. They do like,
they probably do a lot of good stuff.
Shrimp
Do they have
cocktails,
French fries because it's called
McDonald's.
Spanglish?
Sounds like be a really
All right,
cool
so they
place
do-
to eat. Ah, there he is.
There he
Yeah.
is.
so yeah, it is really good. So check it out. It's in Alhambra called Spanglish. So check it out there on Instagram. Just I thought I'd throw that out. And really quickly, they're open at Tacos Dos Portillos by my dad's house over in Montclair. Not too far
That's
from my
what I
dad.
heard.
Yeah, that's the spot, man. That's good stuff.
So
I just ate there the other day. That's a good spot.
We went back to what is it, Tio's Tacos now, which was just recently on the KTLA 5 Morning News.
As was Made Riverside,
As was
our
our
sponsor.
friends at Made Riverside, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty cool.
Always a great place to go. So they're back open. They've got their outdoor patios open. They've got some indoor stuff open. Can't complain, man. Tacos are killer. Chilaquiles actually left me a little bit to be desired, though. Surprisingly.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said the chilaquiles actually left a little bit to be desired, though, surprisingly.
I've never been there. Everybody always talks about it. Isn't that stupid butterfly wall over there somewhere?
That's downtown. That's by City Hall. But it's
Oh, okay.
the guy who did that is the guy who owns Tacos.
Okay.
He's the artist.
yeah, I went to
Very
Tio's
cool.
about 10, 11, 12 years ago. The food was pretty good, but I thought the art was much better than the food. Not saying the food was bad.
You go for the art, and you do enjoy it. It's a good meal, but you go
Yeah.
for the art. To walk around and get the ambiance. There's a little place actually right across the street from Tio's Tacos called Taco Station, and it's a kind of a converted old gas station.
Yeah.
They're pretty
On
legit. It's
that's
literally-
on Mission, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally Tio's
Mission and
Tacos
Market.
is one corner of the street, and
Yeah.
then right across the street is Taco Station. They're pretty legit. They're good, and they're both just a couple of blocks from the Cheech and the library. So
Yeah. Once that more information is released about that, we'll have to talk about that. Maybe even get out there if we can.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be in downtown for the Cheech.
Well, you know what? Right now, you said something earlier, and I was going to say this. You said something about Amoeba opening up, and should we try it? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think you should try anything as soon as it opens, not because of the safety, just because it's going to be a mass of freaking people everywhere
Yeah.
trying to do it, and I ain't down with trying to wait 4 hours in line to go to Amoeba. You know what I mean?
When
Like,
you can
I ain't down with
find
that.
most of the catalog online.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Do I want to check it out? Yeah, I want to check it out because it's in a new spot. And we know where that new spot is. It's a whole parking is going to be a better situation. Access to the store is going to be a whole lot easier. I'm looking forward to that, but I ain't gonna be there the first week because it's like, dude, everybody's gonna try to do it. Like, I don't understand why everybody's got to. I gotta go right away. No, I don't. Why? Because you gotta work shit out.
You know,
Like all these
and it's
people
close to
trying
the
to get to Disneyland
train
the first day.
station. It's close to the train station on Hollywood and Vine. So it's like a block away from the Hollywood and Vine train station.
We must be getting back to normal if Xavier's starting to talk about the train again.
I love the train, man.
I know. Well, we know, but it's been a while since anybody's taken it because nothing's been open. So we must be getting back to normal if you're talking about taking the train into L.A. Haven't heard that in a year and a half.
Yeah.
But he's right. It is right there. So, all right, man. I think, Rick, let's wrap this bad boy up.
I think we are wrapping up, yeah. So, as always, thanks for listening. If you have any music or artwork, short films, short stories you would like us to review or check out, feel free to email us at exocast@yahoo.com. You can also check out Extraordinary Culture on Instagram with EXOCulture, Facebook at EXOCult, Twitter at EXOCultcast, and TikTok at EXOcast. You can listen to Extraordinary Culture Podcast on iHeartRadio, Automatic, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and you can listen on YouTube. You can even ask your smart home device to play the Extraordinary Culture Podcast. Thanks as always for listening. Have a good night.